Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Hey there, everybody. I am Rachel.
And I'm Kathryn, sitting across from you as always. What's up?
Pretty excited about this little episode here we got going.
Yeah, yes.
Today we are going to take a little jaunt to Austria, which is particularly fun to me. I know this one's your baby because you've always been interested in Vienna, but I remember in school I did this, I think it was like 8th grade, and I did this project on Austria. And so I've always kind of been fascinated by the country in general. So, but I really don't know very much about Vienna, or at least I didn't.
Yeah, and you know, when I think of Vienna, and one thing I was interested in for doing this is just it has this whole romantic connotation to me, and so I really was fascinated. You hear about the Viennese waltz and the balls, and you know, of course, Johann Strauss, who wrote all those romantic waltzes, was born there.
Right.
So I was very fascinated. So, you know, just a little background. Vienna is the capital of Austria, and Austria is located in Central Europe. And, you know, it's just known for just having a lot of really romantic elements to it.
But also tasty food, huh?
Aha!
Which I was excited to find. I always like to ferret out the food culture in a place. So one nifty thing about Vienna that I was delighted to discover is that coffee houses are a big part of the culture.
They started to become popular, you know, in about 1700s or so, when they had the houses were very damp and cold, and the coffee houses were warm and inviting, and so they became this what they would call today a third place, you know, between work and home. Also a meeting place for intellectuals. The most famous one was Café Central, or is Café Central. It's still around. It came into being in the 1860s. And Sigmund Freud and Leon Trotsky and Lenin were just some of the people who
hung out
there, right? And it's just your quintessential Vienna coffee house. It's got the vaulted ceilings, the parquet floors, the mirrors, you know, all the elements that you think of.
Yeah, sounds like such a cozy element of Viennese culture. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Vienna is famous for this chocolate cake. It's called, I'm going to try to pronounce it, Sachertorte?
Yeah, yes.
And it's a chocolate cake with a layer of, I think, apricot
jam, yes.
Which sounds, I've never had anything like it. Sounds good. Oh, another cool thing about, food-wise about Vienna is that wine is a big deal.
The city itself has a significant wine-growing region. And, you know, what I thought was interesting is that most of the wine is not exported. It's just drunk locally.
Huh, okay.
They even have these special wine taverns called Heuriger, I hope I pronounced that right, where you get fresh, locally produced wine. If you see a pine branch above the door of the tavern, that means they got some fresh wine in.
Which is a lot like the tradition in Frankfurt, right?
Yes.
With the apple wine pubs where they put up the...
Yeah, they put up a bowl just like that.
So that's quite interesting connection there.
Yeah.
Another food thing that sounds kind of tasty is the Wiener Schnitzel. It's a fried breaded cutlet of veal. The idea of a veal cutlet that's fried didn't originate in Vienna. But the way they prepare it, the Wiener Schnitzel specifically, is the Viennese are very, very particular about how they do it.
And what is that?
It's fried, it's breaded, but it has to be served with some lemon, and often with a side of like potato or cucumber salad. Moving away from food a little bit, although we love it, another thing you really like about Vienna is that it's the city of music and opera and balls, right?
Oh yes, they have, everywhere you go you can hear classical music, and they have this really interesting tradition of balls. There's about 300 balls that they have during the carnival season before Lent, you know, in like January and February, and you know, the lawyers will have a ball and the coffee makers will have a ball.
Are they always dress-up balls?
Always dress-up balls. The ladies will wear gowns, the men will wear white tie and tails, and you know, there'll always be some choreographed waltzes. The waltz part is kind of a small part. Most of the music you'll hear is like regular dance music, you know. Yeah, but there's always a section where they'll have some choreographed waltzes.
So it's kind of a fun mix of old and new there.
Yes, definitely is.
Now, earlier in the podcast, Kathryn mentioned that Johann Strauss was born here, and he was famous for the music he produced. And one of those things is the Blue Danube, which is a river that runs through the city. But I don't know, this sort of struck me as funny that he sort of took some creative license there because, from all accounts, the Danube is not blue.
It's kind of muddy green, right?
Greeny, muddy, yeah.
Yeah, not particularly appealing.
So when you go, it may not... it may not look blue like you expect.
Might be a little disappointing.
Yeah, although I think that's true of a lot of rivers, really.
Oh, yes.
They're
yes.
not often blue.
Well, you know, one fact that I thought was really interesting was that Vienna has the highest number of spies in any city of the world. They attribute that to the fact of its location. And, you know, back in the days of the Cold War, it was like between the East Europe and West Europe, Vienna was pretty much in the center. So it was sort of like a meeting ground for spies.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and, you know, even today, after the Cold War is over, they still have a lot of agents there and diplomats. And if that sort of thing fascinates you, you might want to take, there's a tour which is based on The Third Man. You know, so it's a movie about espionage, and the hero of the movie escapes through the sewers of Vienna. And,
okay.
And there's a tour you can take which will recreate
through
that.
the sewers.
Through the sewers, exactly. So that would be definitely different from all the other things that we've talked about.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Vienna's got a lot going on, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from spies to schnitzel. So, all in all, I think it's a cool place, and you should definitely check it out if you can.
Yeah, I'd love to visit it. And we're going to have some more information on Vienna up on our blog and also on HowStuffWorks.com.
But until then, we'll see you next time for more cool stuff.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit HowStuffWorks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@HowStuffWorks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free, on iTunes.